All right. The Eggo Sippin Cream, I regret to inform everyone in the world, is real. There's a dumb meme that I found, and... Babe, what's wrong? You've barely chugged your Eggo Brunch in a Jar Appalachian Sippin Cream.
And I demanded!
From Emily Murname on Twitter, and I thought...
I demanded to know if that was real or not. He was just scrolling through memes before we started recording, and he just makes that pass, just joking. I said, that's not real. We're all like, yeah, of course that's not real. But I demanded to know if we have truly fallen this far from God's light.
I pull out my phone to fact check this with the level of confidence of he won't stop harping about this. I'll humor him. Obviously, it's not real. Not only is it real, it's 40% alcohol by volume. This is an alcoholic beverage.
It's 20 proof.
And it is it's on purpose, the consistency and flavor of waffle batter.
Who the fuck did this? Yeah, who greenlit?
I said it was 20%.
It's 40. I thought it said 40. Let me pull it up.
Is it 40 proof? Because that means 20%.
Yeah. Is it 40 proof or is it 40%?
I'm also an idiot.
Yeah.
20% alcohol by volume, 40 proof.
Okay, there we go. That's much better because it was fucking.
If it's 40,
if it's 40%, that's catastrophic.
And they've somehow still made it batter.
Right.
That's sorcery.
That's research chemicals that aren't meant to go into the human body.
I don't know what moonshiner in the mountains had to mix up whatever in his tub to make that.
Oh fuck, man.
So as we're discovering this, oh my God, some of us are of the opinion that it being alcoholic makes more sense.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. What I first pictured when he showed me the meme was that, I can just get a fucking jug of this on the shelf in a fucking Food Lion grocery store and just start sipping on some fucking breakfast syrup. I was like, no, you can't do that. We live in a society. But for some reason, me knowing it's a liqueur, it's a gimmick liqueur, because we have the fucking Liquor Mountain Dew now. Gimmick liqueurs are starting to, take off. I've seen so many stupid, get it, you can get shit-faced, but it's a stupid gimmick. Right. Something about drinking batter to get shit-faced. That sounds... I can see it, I guess. I'm not gonna fucking do that, but... it's fucking batter.
It's what you said, except you're also getting drunk. Drink your brunch.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, me waking up and drinking the batter before I go to work is somehow less savory to me than, okay, I'm off of work, let me drink the batter to get loose. Hey guys, I got the party batter. That sounds like a sex joke.
You're presupposing where this goes in exactly the wrong way. It's brunch in a jar. You drink that shit.
Oh, it is brunch in a jar, isn't it?
11:30.
Yeah.
Oh
no! Which... I was trying to imagine who's buying this, and then I created a scenario in my head.
You gotta even wait till noon!
Because it says Appalachian, so I can only imagine this is in West Virginia.
Right.
So I'm imagining,
we might need to resuscitate Tony.
People are... two individuals are at... I'm assuming Walmart in West Virginia.
Right. And
then it's just created this scenario in my head. Imagine I'm being mean, I'm sorry, West Virginia, but a man with 3 teeth in his head and he's in overalls and flannel.
Right, he's more of a hillbilly and a Looney Tune.
And he's got a MAGA hat on. And then he finds the Sippin Cream. And then he turns excited. Darlene! You're not going to believe this. They got Sippin Cream. Eggo Sippin Cream.
You love Eggos. We make them every morning. and we have to mash them up with our moonshine like animals. No longer.
The worst part is I fucking love Eggo waffles, man.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Give me a blueberry Eggo any fucking morning.
I need them frozen.
But not the batter!
I think you're supposed to drink it warm.
Probably.
You know what? That also makes it a bit better.
So the thing is, I'm going to say no, it can't be warm because it's sold in a glass jar. And you don't want to heat up a glass jar. I think it's supposed to be served at or around room temp.
Counterpoint, maybe the intent is to pour it into a microwave-safe cup, and you're not supposed to warm up the jar. Because I now refuse to believe you're drinking it at room temperature. I refuse.
Why?
Because, like, I don't know, something... No, warm batter is just as gross as cold batter.
Yeah.
Yeah, either way, it's fucking...
The batter's not hot before it goes in the waffle.
Like, I'm trying to rationalize it,
Yeah.
right? Fuck.
I mean, Tony, if you're buying the Sippin Cream,
Sippin Cream!
Yeah.
what kind of standards you got? You
Tony,
know?
Fuck.
if you lock in on this product and you pull the trigger, you buy it, the presupposed notions that you are coming to it with,
Oh, fuck.
a man of your mentality would never buy the Sippin' Cream. It wouldn't even enter your vision. But somebody who's like, I make up batter for something and I just want to drink it. I want to drink my waffle and not have it be gross.
For brunch.
Yeah. And I also, since I'll be drinking it, I won't need a beverage on the side. So I'll need that liquor from my mimosa to go into the beverage. The new beverage. And that's the Sippin' Cream.
Mimosas
Mimo-
in Appalachia.
They can call it whatever they want when they put whatever they want together. I'm talking about a theoretical family that is mashing their Eggo waffles into their moonshine to achieve a similar effect to the Appalachian Sippin' Cream that Eggo, thankfully, made a breakthrough for them.
Okay. So those of you at home, I would never buy this product. I have too much dignity for that. However, I don't have enough dignity to not drink it if you send us one. I make the vow to this day, if we get one of those sent to us, I will drink it on the podcast. Because I can't believe that. I kind of want to know.
I bet it's delicious.
See, the thing is the texture. The texture is what I'm worried about. Like, is it chunky? Is it
Tony,
thick?
It's a little bit thick, and there's no chunks in it, obviously.
You don't know that.
I do know that. I looked on the Reddit.
Okay.
That's how we found out that it was alcoholic in the first place.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, he's done his research, correct.
It's a little bit thick, and I can tell you the key difference here is that I come from a pure line of white trash because I'm already on board.
I'm imagining.
I'd drink it if it was right.
Oh, no.
If I knew for sure it was near here, I might go get it.
No, my friend, no.
Sounds delicious.
So,
My friend, no.
I don't know. You'd probably have to like.
I'm fucking
You'd
dying.
have to hunt for that here.
Yeah, exactly. I have no confidence that I'll be able to find it here. I'd probably have to order it off of Amazon or something. And frankly, I don't do that.
Like, ordering alcohol is real hard in ABC controlled states.
Yeah, they don't trust us down here. Every time I go to visit my family up north, and I go into Michigan, and I just walk into Meijer, which is like a Walmart style chain they have up there, and there's just hard liquor on the shelves, like
liquor
it's
wall.
no one's business. I go through a little conniption. I'm like, how do they trust y'all like that up here? Like you can just grab a handle and go into your fucking car like it's no one's business. Like no bag, no shame, no nothing. Like Jesus Christ.
Yep, it was mind blowing the first time I went to Florida and California. Same shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
just at the
man.
grocery store you can buy
Go
liquor.
That gives Florida man a whole new layer of like irony.
We went to CVS and they had a liquor wall, and it was like, I stared in bafflement.
It's from the pharmacy. That means it's good for you.
I was like 18 or something, and I was just looking. I was like, really?
Yeah, no,
In the CVS? Like,
blows your fucking mind, man. Like
now what they didn't have was Sippin Cream.
that's the reason I brought this up. Yeah, is because like how do you think it would be? I guess it would make it easier because there's no laws. But can you just get it ordered to your house? Could I just, or if I didn't live in Virginia, could I just go get Sippin Cream ordered to my house? Like if I, theoretically,
definitely, yeah.
If I went to go hang out with my cousin Todd during our annual 4th of July meets,
right?
And during that stay, I just said, let me just order some fucking alcoholic Sippin Cream to his fucking house. I can just do
You could
that.
meet it there, yeah. You could go meet it there.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Dude, okay.
I mean, genuinely, a thing that I've had to talk to people about, like, with their children getting drunk and whatnot. I live a complicated life where I give advice to a lot of different kinds of people. And from people from out of state genuinely, like, seem relieved that, like, okay, I order stuff off of Amazon all the time. I'm glad that Amazon won't just send my child liquor because they'll order it through their parents' Amazon and stuff in other states.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's...
Let me correct this. Maybe not Amazon, but through, like, online retail.
Yeah. Just, like, swipe mommy's card and just get fucking vodka shipped to the house.
Yeah, just
get Liddy fucking
use her mom's phone to order the thing.
Yeah.
She doesn't look any... This is bad advice.
Oh, no, we're training a whole generation of degenerates.
Go ahead and bleep that advice that I gave them on how to commit crime right now.
Yeah,
everyone knows you steal money from your mom's purse. You go down and meet up this guy on Fifth. It's just that Dave Chappelle bit.
It's literally that Dave Chappelle bit.
And I walked right into it like a damn
Oh my god.
fool.
Yeah, no. We do not condone crime on this podcast. Be a safe boy and don't steal from your parents. It's... But it strains belief that one could even do this.
Yeah.
Part of why you went on that tangent is because we live in a state where you cannot do that. This sounds like a pipe dream to me. This sounds like a fucking... Like, oh, someone wrote this in a fiction piece.
Right.
Because that's not real.
It's a problem on Law and Order.
Yeah. It feels like a fake problem someone made up to sell books. Like, I can't believe... That's... Damn, being a parent must be fucking hard right now, dude. That opens up a whole avenue of sympathy for me.
Yeah.
Because, like, on one hand, ABC store, we're being suppressed, bruh. On the other hand, my children can't order liquor online and just get drunk in my house
I'm going to ask you to cast your mind back to when you were a gremlin.
That's what I'm saying, dude. If I was a little gremlin...
I factually remember you because we were playing World of Warcraft and you needed to, like, buy another month on, like, your subscription, where you just knew your mom's credit card number.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
That's what I'm saying. Like, no one man should have all that power.
The techno future is you just on your knees screaming while your child just blitzed in the background. Ah! Black Mirror was right!
Oh, no. What have they done? Okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah. That's a whole mind fuck for another day. We're gonna put a pin in that one.
Right.
So, now that the cream has been dealt with, we wanted to talk about the current state of special effects and also, more importantly, where special effects used to be and how far they've come.
Yes. We were already sort of, like, halfway through this conversation before we were like, oh yeah, we need to, like, turn microphones on because we get riled up.
Yeah. We try to get the jitters out before we start recording, but we just went right into it, and that's why we ended up with a cold opening this time.
Let us know if you like it.
Yeah, let us know if you like it. Leave a comment if we should start. The first few episodes were recorded this way before I started picking up an introduction, but, I'm open to suggestions, open to new types of format. But no, as far as special effects come, Mario had once told me in the past that one of the things that modern cinema suffers from is that before you didn't have like a lot of budget or like a lot of tools, so people had to be extremely creative with their special effects. There was so many limitations to the media. But now, like, you can just kind of finger wave your hand and say, fix it in post, I want this done, I want that done, make it snappy.
Yeah.
And some intern who's like, cracked out on caffeine will just sit there on a computer and make all the effects happen. Yeah.
It is... So, I basically got all riled up just to... You ever do that where you're with your friends and, like, they express an opinion and you just restate the opinion as if it's conversation.
Yeah.
Just get all excited and be like, I agree too! So I basically started going in on that because what I really love, what I see as like the big triumphs of creativity and art are things that are like that are defined by their limitations. Like I was talking about like in Black Panther 2 when they're in the vibranium mines with the super future train cars, and then the two guys in full CGI costumes are fighting each other, and it looks like PlayStation 2. They could have done anything because there weren't people on that screen. That was all special effects. Whereas in Jurassic Park, like in order to make their animatronic dinosaur, which already looked fantastic, look as lifelike as they wanted it to be, they gave us these different directions of lighting, and they where like the darkness was dark, it's super dark night, but all the parts that you're supposed to see of the T-Rex are perfectly lit by like a child holding a shaky flashlight, and all the reflection from the rain and stuff. Everything has to come together to make that animatronic look as good as it ends up looking. But like that's where the creativity really was. The how do we get that shot? Because really, if you're looking at it from like a writing perspective, in the script, the dinosaur being there isn't like an engaging thing. But when you're going through a visual medium, how do you get the shot is where creativity needs to live.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the full CGI PlayStation 2 fight scene, I feel like there aren't enough limitations that they to tie it to reality.
Yeah, I buy that.
Yeah, and then you get happy accidents, like I mentioned earlier, that specifically that T-Rex, supposedly the material it was made out of absorbed a bunch of the water from the rain scene and made it too heavy, and so it would shake on its rig, and that made it look as though the T-Rex was cold and was shivering.
And that's
happened to make it seem more lifelike.
There's a thing that I won't stop repeating. I think it's a truism. Other smarter people than me said it too, so I'm going to appeal to authority there. The art helps make itself. And I think that limitations are especially a way that it participates. Like these, they have it on a rig that, like, if they could make it perfectly stable, I'm sure they would. But the limitations of technology, plus the amount of weight added, plus the coincidence of how this material behaves, led to that, like, extremely inspiring, I guess. This excellent piece of the universe is now in this movie because of the limitations and the creativity of how they got the shot. And I just love that.
Yeah, it's poetic. That's you know, something that truly defines cinema, and like to me that's one of like the big movies in my opinion. Like,
it's certainly a hallmark of like special effects and like what's the practical effects.
I'd say the first two Jurassic Park movies, yeah, for sure. The third one, I hit or miss. But.
Well, the first one specifically is like the movie where it's like, then we switched over to basically just CGI all of it. Because they were gonna do claymation for a lot of it.
Yeah,
and then,
that would have been horrible.
And then a guy debuted like a CGI like video basically, and they were just like sold immediately.
That's hilarious. Have I told you the story of how King Kong got made?
No.
So, essentially...
The guy obsessed with gorillas or whatever?
So, what happened was this guy had just heard about gorillas because at that point in time, people didn't know all the animals. We were still discovering them. Like, apes were discovered, like, the great apes fully discovered only in, like, what, the 30s? We haven't known about them for that long. We used to have to go out there in, like, big puffy pants and pith helmets and shit to find new tigers.
Well, it's also like, you know, if you didn't grow up knowing what a gorilla is, describe a gorilla to somebody.
It sounds crazy.
It sounds like a D&D monster.
Yeah, it does. It sounds like an actual demon.
So this guy heard about gorillas and was like, I need to make a movie about a giant gorilla fighting a dinosaur. And the dinosaur he had in mind was a Komodo dragon. because he had also just heard about them. Now, unfortunately, he really was misrepresented the idea of the size of these creatures, because a gorilla is big, but it's shorter than a man. Like they're big, but like they're not gigantic. And a Komodo dragon is long, but like 2 feet tall. There's a lot of it, but it's not very imposing. And by the way, his original plan was, and then my movie will be recording these two animals killing each other. That was how movies were made back in the day.
Yeah. Topsy must die. She is a bad elephant, and she's getting worse. Justice for Topsy. Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, he ended up not doing that, thankfully, because a guy came up with an animation using a new style of special effects that had just been invented. Claymation. And through that claymation, he understood like how to use it to make the cinematic like tour de force of King Kong incredible, but also literally, well, how are we going to claymation these dinosaurs? Well, I figured out a new method of special effects to show you. That's fucking beautiful. That's cyclical.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And, my favorite thing about that was, for the time, apparently, blew everybody's mind.
Oh, yeah. Like, it freaked people the fuck out.
Well, it's because when it premiered, the theater that they show King Kong in the movie was the theater they premiered the movie in. And so when King Kong started going crazy and was breaking shit, people started to freak the fuck out because they thought,
what?
Yeah, they thought maybe it was actually happening. Like,
oh man,
allegedly
movies back then. Yeah.
Allegedly.
So this could come off really bad. I love every story of like, oh, it was a movie of a train coming and then they all jumped out of the way, because I get a hearty laugh at the savages. It's a terrible look.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Because it's so obvious to modern day that they're like cavemen sometimes, where it's like, oh, they didn't have phones, so if something rang, what would they say when they pick up the phone? Ahoy?
It's so fucking mean. It reminds me of, I took like a history of ballet class, and they were talking about like the Cirque du Soleil, I think it was. One of the like, where like a lot of the modern art, like neo ballet stuff comes from, and I think it was Nijinsky, one of there was like this guy who like did a whole bunch of these ballets,
right? And
he debuted one of them. I think it's the Ides of March, I believe. And basically, it starts off with like he did stuff like a lot of like ballerina stuff that's like ephemeral and like jovial and like mystical, and this one just starts off with like really like down note, loud, dreary music and a bunch of people stomping, and like apparently the crowd did not take kindly to it at first, and it caused a mass hysteria. And this is when like film and stuff was like just starting to take off. So like they were supposed to be filming the debut of this, and instead you can see it's like black and white, but the rafters are all like, it looks like the film is messed up because people are just literally freaking out and flailing and going insane. There's like a mass hysteria. All these high class like old money motherfuckers are literally chipping out, and it's crazy. It's so surreal to see, dude.
That's so funny.
Yeah, isn't it? It's crazy, dude. Like, because they're all in like suits and shit and dresses, and they just look.
They weren't ready for the future.
They couldn't handle it. They couldn't handle it. And I guess and I think Nijinsky even said when he pulled them off stage, he was like, "Savages, imbeciles!" Like, so he literally had your response. I'm pretty sure I have to brush up on my fucking history, but I
bring out the kids from the Step Up movies out on that stage. Everyone catches fire.
Drumline happens, they just fucking explode. Oh, fuck, that's good.
I mean, I guess appropriately titled then, because beware the Ides of March.
Yeah,
yeah.
They didn't even get to the end where 13 people stab a man to death.
And if I'm wrong about this, please feel free to flame me in the comments. I want to say those are the right ones.
I choose that funnier version of history. If I'm
It's awesome. No, yeah, but special effects have gotten fucking crazy. We were also talking about how I'm a hipster and a boomer, so I have the opinion that the 90s was the pinnacle of anime.
Yeah.
And I would go as far as to say late 80s to the early aughts. Like that little stretch encompassing all the 90s.
Right.
As far as like quality of storytelling. But I don't really hold this opinion in any high like regard. Like I don't have like, I'm not firmly set in it. And I would go as far as to say, because before I said, the pinnacle of animation.
Right.
But now I can no longer say that because we have things like Demon Slayer. I mean, fucking look at that. It's gorgeous.
We've gotten real good at making them pretty.
Yeah, like
that much we can say for certain.
Yeah, the way computers can process things in the modern era, you can make some very pretty animation that just wasn't really practical or possible. Well, it was possible, it just wasn't practical because it was so expensive.
Yeah.
Like Akira, the movie Akira, we talked about this in the previous episode. That movie's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
The movie is fucking gorgeous, and it was made in the 80s.
It holds up like as
50 years ago.
As one of like the greatest anime like films like visually.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was like in the fucking 80s, so it was possible. And then even Disney, the stuff Disney does is so fluid and crisp,
Oh yeah.
Because anime, to my understanding, and I'm probably wrong about this, but to my understanding, anime, that style of animation was basically made to make cheap animations for like, so that people could rip off Disney, like, more or less. And to my understanding, I think a lot of the Japanese market originally came from a demand in France, actually. Apparently French animation has a whole story.
Yeah, anime was originally a French thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, I know the only
I'm le webu. Matsu otaku.
No, don't do it. What I was gonna say is the only French anime I know is Waffle, and that shit was fantastic.
Oh yeah, there's one that I've been keeping up with for several years now called Radiant. That is, I believe there's an anime, but there's definitely a physical manga or comic, whatever.
It's too easy. It's too easy.
It really is.
I love France, and I love French people. Be nice to them. It's too easy.
But
we call that like instead of manhwa, it's francois.
Francois. It's too easy. It's too easy. Jeez.
Anyway, Radiant's really good, and it is French.
What's the art style like? Is it more like Eastern or Western?
It's very like it reads and appears as like a shonen and like manga style.
Okay.
Like until I found out like 50 chapters in that this is French because I wasn't paying very close attention to like to the credits or anything because I'm a heartless reader who doesn't care who made it.
Oh man.
And then I was like, a lot of white names for a manga that I'm reading on my manga website, which has been inundated with Korean stuff. Is this another new thing? Nope. Turns out, fantastic French series. It's basically about horrible monsters on flying islands and shit. It's great, but like the monsters, they touch you, they either kill you or turn you into a wizard.
Oh man!
And there's wizard racism. And it's a really good series, and you should read it, especially if you like shonen style adventure manga.
Yeah, doing good work over there in France.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
what the hell were we talking? Special effects.
Yeah.
So one thing that I did want to say about special effects is what I have pretty universally believed to be the case is that the best version of special effects is like retouching or like adding effect to physical, like practical effects. Like retouching a guy in a xenomorph outfit is what made Alien.
Yeah.
Like the fact that, especially like there's a scene in my brain immediately of, this isn't like a digital edit or anything, but they did like change the lighting of the entire like set in order to get this effect where the guy's in the alien costume, obviously, and he's just sitting in the hallway. They walk right by him. He's in the shot.
That's awesome.
And then, like, that's how the alien works. That makes it feel so real that, like, they walked right by it. It's that stealthy. You really feel it. And honestly, I feel like a lot of the big spectacle CGI things are people who get too up their own ass on the easel. They need to be held back a bit.
Yeah.
You need to be told, okay, you don't...
George needs to be told no.
George Lucas needed to be told no.
Yeah, like, I think it's one of those things where success often makes you forget what made you successful.
Yeah.
And I think modern cinema is suffering in that, like, a lot of the really good stuff that we see was made good because the guy was told no quite often. Like, it was a collaboration of materials. We have such an authoritarian, like fucking autocratic approach to where it's my genius, it's mine.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, this is a team effort. You're a team captain, but if your team is shit, your movie's gonna be shit too. If you can't direct things.
The auteur theory of like film criticism drives me insane.
Yeah.
That's the one where it says, oh, the director's the only one who really has a creative vision here.
That's stupid.
That's
doomed. I mean, there are geniuses who can't. Like, Kubrick existed.
Yeah.
Like, there are Kubricks. There are Hayao Miyazakis. Like, they exist. Don't get me wrong. But everyone just assuming that they are, not understanding their own limitations, or not taking the necessary steps and going through their own fucking career training arcs to, like, accumulate the perspectives and the vision needed to actually do this, taking the time to actually do it and know you can actually do it instead of just winging it. Yeah, big problem, man. Big fucking problem. What's the fucking, oh my god, what was...
Rebel Moon?
Rebel Moon!
Yeah.
Yes!
I've been thinking about it this whole time you've been talking.
That is an example of both the things you're talking about. That movie banked on special effects carrying the whole fucking thing. It looked really fucking cool.
I swear to God, you could cut that movie down to like a 90-minute cut by removing all the slow-mo. It's...
God bless.
It's ridiculous. And don't get me wrong, Zack Snyder has made some things that I really love. But frankly, all of those things that I really love involve him being told no in a way that he was not for Rebel Moon.
Yeah, like you can't have... Yeah, I don't know. I know... One pitfall that I'm going to have to try to avoid, you know, I'm working on a piece of fiction, and, like, I've been watching all the writing advice videos, and one bit that keeps coming up is knowing what is good advice and bad advice is a skill in of itself, and it needs to be cultivated. Like, some people just will tell you, well, I think this would be cool, but, like, there's no way to execute it, and then vice versa. Like, the idea is, you know, easily executable, but, like, it just shouldn't be fucking executed. Like, don't do that. It's a bad idea. You know? So, I feel like a lot of these folks are so drowned in advice they can no longer tell if it's good or bad. They just try to, like, trust their own intuition, their own instinct. That way, if it's fucked, they can only blame themselves and not want to lash out at others. I don't know. I don't know how that fucking goes down, man. I feel like some folks it might be an ego trip and they just don't want to collaborate. I know that's a big problem with a lot of folks. They just get too big for their britches and decide my way or the highway, and
like, I'm obviously not a successful movie man or writer of any kind.
I know nothing about the industry.
This is all very much like
speculation.
Yeah. However, it's certainly strange that Zack Snyder can't seem to make Rebel Moon a good movie.
We have like 2 or 3 more coming, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, so
and every single one of them has a director's cut that I swear is like a full hour longer.
Crazy to me.
You know why? Because people buckled and believed in the Snyderverse, and now he gets to release 2 of the same movie every time he does it. Because he has this narrative around him of like, but maybe you'll get to see the real movie if you like the movie enough. I've made a really good movie, but we can't release that movie. You have to see the bad movie. But if you all make enough noise, maybe you'll get to see the real movie that I made. And it's because of the Snyder cut.
That is so... when you put it that way, that is so
He's doing that all the time now. All of his movies then now have a director's cut.
Yeah.
That's like an hour longer.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, in his defense, I will say, I think certain movies, like, we used to have, like, 4 to 6 hour long movies with, like, intermission when you go get lunch or some shit. That used to be normal. And, like, I'm the kind of motherfucker that thinks a good movie is worth sitting down for 4 hours. Like, I understand most folks don't want to invest time like that. I understand that, like, that's not practical. Most people don't have attention spans like that. But for a great example, if the Warcraft movie was 4 hours long, would have been a great movie. They didn't have enough time.
I'm going to flip-flop here. I have to flip-flop.
Okay.
All movies should be able to have a whoopsie.
What do you mean a whoopsie?
Like, they release it and people say, like, this is a bad film. And then, like, the studio should be able to then be like, all right, let's fix the movie and then release the director's cut, Snyder cut, whatever you want to call it, cut of the good movie. They should be able to release it twice.
You know who got a whoopsie, but they did it before.
Who fumbled it like fools?
Who are you talking about?
Morbius.
Morbius did. They had a whoopsie and they fumbled it.
Yep.
No, I'm not talking about Morbius. I'm saying they didn't release it, but whoever made this call, you sir, you deserve all the money. You deserve to fuck all of your employees' wives.
Jesus.
Like, you deserve a throne of gold. You deserve. And this is from an IP I don't even give a shit about.
What is it?
But it was one that could not be fucked up, and it was not fucked up, and I think the world was a brighter place for it.
What?
Sonic.
Yeah.
The original design for Sonic was atrocious.
Do you know...
And the backlash was so bad. Unfortunately, I like Jim Carrey, but he was given a little bit like, I think the fans have too much power. They shouldn't have taken the movie back down. No, they should have. And then they did, and Sonic is now beloved. He was an ugly ghoul before.
Everyone who fought for it to be changed, like, who worked there,
yeah,
like, they need to be awarded a trophy that's like a golden spine.
They need to have a golden ring.
Do you know how, like, immediately blacklisted you are if you, like, say, hey, we need to try again at this late stage, and not just try again, like, because there's an idea that, like, people don't like and the producers don't care about. It's an idea that people don't like, and the producers are like, no, the people are wrong.
Yeah, no, it was...
To then be like, no, boss, you're wrong.
That was one of the first ones that I noticed in recent era where, yeah, like, people got the pushback, and they actually listened, and it was overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah,
like,
and now they've made 3 movies that are tremendous
That's what I'm
hits.
saying. Like, I'm glad those movies, like, as far as, like, you know, what is the youth watching? What are the kids too into these days? I am more than happy to see them watching fucking the Sonic movies. Like, I think that's fucking cool. Like, I think, like, I don't give a shit about Sonic. I wasn't a Sega kid, but as far as, like, an IP to be pushing on the youth, I think it's cool, and I'm glad that it took off. Especially because we have Shadow the Hedgehog, and he had his gun. Fuck yeah, dude.
What a fucking franchise to be like, okay, we got Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
We got Idris Elba. We got Keanu Reeves. And what we're going to do is almost all those characters are going to be CGI'd to oblivion. So we're not really going to be getting any value from them besides their voice.
Yeah.
And people are still going to absolutely be like, oh my god, incredible! A masterpiece, a feast for the senses!
Also, okay, so this is something... This is a bit I've been trying to tiptoe around because it's racially insensitive.
Hit me with it.
But we're fine full tilt into it. As a young half-black man, it was always interesting to see in, like, anime and stuff the lack of representation. It never bothered me. It was just something that, like, oh, this is just how it is.
Right.
But you'll also markedly notice, anyone else who grew up in the 90s, the black community just adopted certain characters.
Oh, yeah.
A good example, Jet from Cowboy Bebop. He's black.
Yeah.
Like, what?
This visibly, ethnically Japanese man.
He's black,
The world of, like, the 90s was like, that's a black guy.
It's a black guy, right?
So much so that when they made a live-action movie, they didn't even consider a Japanese cop.
Never.
No.
Jet's a black guy. Another one, Piccolo. Piccolo's a black guy.
Piccolo's black, yeah.
Piccolo's a black guy. And the reason I bring this up is that, like, yeah, Knuckles is a black guy, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that was another one. That growing up, people were just like, yeah, Knuckles is black, and like, how, what? And I'm like, no, he just, I mean, just look at him, and that doesn't answer anything because he's red. So like,
yeah. So, like, the concept of a character being, like, black-coded. Or, like the big one that people, like, are able to like grasp onto really easily is like a bunch of old Disney villains are queer coded. Like that's making fun of or like implicit about like, oh, that's about the gays as bad guys. Mm-hmm. But my favorite thing is like the like this character is clearly black coded, and like people on Twitter will all agree with that. And then like halfway through, it'll be like, I think this character is black coded, and it'll be Ron Stoppable.
I don't get that one. Did they get an argument?
They did actually.
Oh wow, okay.
Although I do say like this one I was like, that's not a good argument.
That's a stretch.
Because one of the arguments was that he always is wearing a jersey. And
I know plenty of people in Philly who just do that.
Yeah. I know a lot of guys who look precisely like Ron Stoppable who do that.
Yeah, like I knew this one dude, like he basically only had jerseys, and it was like that was like what he spent most, like every paycheck.
That's the only kind of shirt he owns.
And every paycheck he was like talking about such and such player, he deserves to buy. So we would just like buy a new jersey, and so we literally only had like expensive, just like because they're pretty expensive. Like
right,
so we just had these nice jerseys, and that's all he ever wore. I never saw him, but it was always a different jersey. I never saw him the same jersey twice. So that's why I was like believing that, like, okay, then you're not just saying this because I've never seen you in the same jersey twice, and I've seen you on like 30 different occasions. This is actually absurd to me.
You used to be a football boy, right, Mario?
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever wear a jersey as an adult?
No.
I don't know why that's so funny to me. The matter of fact, no.
I don't know. Plus, that was never really like my thing,
right?
Know?
Oh man,
like I knew guys who would wear jerseys, but it was like, it was just not me,
Yeah,
I was a very atypical athlete, where it's like.
By the way,
I showed up and then that was it. Like
for context here, he is wearing a 40K orc shirt right now. So
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Wow, motherfucker.
Wow! I love it. Work good. No. So I'm happy that the developers, the producers listened to the fans' outrage at Sonic, fixed Sonic, and now they're beloved movies. Like, I hope that Hollywood looks at that as like a crash course in like, there are certain times where you don't listen because the feedback is nonsense. And there are certain times where you have to listen because the feedback is obvious. Like,
so famously in within those who watch the series Rick and Morty, in Rick and Morty, like they always complain about like their biggest piece of criticism they get is more like season 1 adventures. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
That's bad criticism.
Yeah. It's too nebulous. It's not. You need specifics.
Good criticism
actionable
is saying
things,
maybe less of the incest shit.
Yeah, no more incest babies. That's a bit too wild.
Just less.
Yeah. You're going a bit
not
off
necessarily
the rails.
none.
I loved that bit.
I'm not
honestly.
I thought it was great.
Only because when it comes back later, and she's like, "Go Naruto."
Yeah,
she named it Naruto.
Naruto Smith.
Yeah, I hate that. Yeah,
so I'm a dork who's like, so I love Rick and Morty. I just won't talk to anyone about it because of the people who also love Rick and Morty.
Dude, it's so
people like me disgust me.
Yeah. Those damn heavens that ruined Scotland.
Yep. But it's just an unactionable piece of criticism.
Yeah. Criticism needs to be specific and actionable. Like, if it's not something I can actually work on based on what you told me, then it's not really useful. It's just you being negative.
I have a disease.
Oh, yeah?
So we were talking about characters being black-coded.
Yeah.
And so my brain will try to put together things that I think would be funny to ask about that.
Oh, man.
So do you guys think Beast Boy from Teen Titans was black-coded?
Yes.
Okay, I thought that would be funnier to ask. I didn't expect an immediate yes.
I would say yes. But this is just a gut feeling. I couldn't... I'm having trouble remembering his design, but that's the feeling I got when I was younger. As someone who's actually studied the media industry, I would have to actually look at it and see, like, the exact like features and characteristics, specifically from the original Teen Titans cartoon, right? Yeah.
The one where they had the anime opening.
Yeah,
instead of
Cyborg. So going back to like, I didn't have a lot of like black characters to identify with. Cyborg was like my homie, bro. Like that was like
Cyborg was the coolest.
He's still my favorite DC hero, and I love the voice actor too. I'm so happy they kept him around. He was in Injustice. He's always voicing Cyborg, and he does a great fucking job.
So genuinely, whenever like Cyborg things, let me tell you how influential the Teen Titans cartoon was on me. Every version of Cyborg that doesn't have like a little bit of the blue transparency shit on him, I'm like, you know what would improve that? Some blue transparency pieces. Like in the old thing. It's like wanting to put the clear case on your Game Boy so you can see its inner workings.
Ooh, it looks good.
Yeah.
Yes. No, DC with the original Teen Titans cartoon, I it ended pretty abruptly.
Yeah.
And I never learned the story behind its cancellation. Was it also because of the toy deal thing? Do you know?
I think that it was like the project was put an end to as like, I think most of these things are like, oh, like this is no longer paying dividends to like pay you to make another season, so we're just not going to. Because sometimes like things get shelved like basically after a season's been made so they can just write it off on their taxes. But like we saw the season. It didn't have an end, but it did like complete itself. So it must have been that they were like, all right, well, you're not getting any more. So
yeah, Cartoon Network did a lot of cartoons dirty that were beloved, and
I have finally matured enough now to be like, Teen Titans Go can be its own thing. I don't need to be butt mad about a cartoon.
When I originally saw it and was butt mad about it, that was flopped quickly. I forgot someone like randomly talked about how that show is hilarious, and I was like, all right, maybe it is. And then I think I YouTubed like one of the scenes, and I was like gut busting laughing. It was like really fucking funny, and I was like, okay, well,
they made a movie that involved that like Teen Titans Go Robin traveling back in time to kill Batman's parents to ensure that Batman would become Batman.
Yeah, like they do shit like that. It's like trolly. It's it's like
really only ever seen one clip, and it made me laugh. Where it's like Batman is like possessed or something, like, and he's chasing them.
Oh, that's in the movie, I believe.
And so he's like chasing after them in like the Batmobile, and then they like blow it up.
Yeah, they shoot a rocket or some shit.
And then he's in the bat cycle. Like they blow that awesome. Up, and then he has bat skates. Like, and then they blow those up, and then when the smoke clears, he's on the back of Alfred, who's just sprinting after them. And I was like, all right, that's pretty fucking funny.
Good bit,
good bit. No, yeah, they're doing good work over there. So there was a bit. Yeah, there was a. Sorry, going back to Teen Titans for a second. There was a bit that Raven thinks old people are cute, and I thought that was like an interesting quirk for the quote unquote goth girl.
They made a whole episode about her legs.
Wait, her like what? Wait,
how she wears the unitard style outfit, so she has her gray legs exposed. Yeah. And how hot her gray legs are, and everyone
leers. They made a whole episode about that?
Yes.
Good.
Everyone leering at this character's legs this whole time, as if to look at the audience and be like, yeah,
that's
we see you.
That's you!
That's you!
Yeah!
You think we don't have the internet? Like we can't see you?
No, in the original Teen Titans cartoon, they even have a bit about shipping. And, like, it went over my head. Like, I had to, like... I thought about this, like, randomly not too long ago. And, like, as a kid, I had no idea they were making fun of Fujos. They were making fun of, like, the people who, like, do, like, online shipping and stuff.
Right.
And, like, chat forums and stuff. They were just, like, ripping those people a fucking new one. And the bit went completely over my head as a kid. Yeah, that was one of the ones for adults. Like... They know
what they're doing.
They do.
You know who doesn't know what they're doing? Marvel. They're fucking up catastrophic.
Dude, going back to, like, the Eternals, like, I shouldn't have to watch your shows to understand that movie, so I don't watch that movie, and so I don't understand the current Captain America.
So I'm trying to bring this all the way around.
Okay, yeah?
Because while they're fucking up, their movies are very low quality right now. No one's surprised by that. But one thing that I will say that they do very well is when they do just use their special effects to enhance physicality for the super soldiers, where they do things like, in order to show like Captain America in like Winter Soldier running like top speed, they had him running on like a carpet that was being dragged by a car, and then they edited out the carpet. So like he looks like he's running 30 miles an hour.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic. And in spite of a lot of their hiccups lately with CGI problems and movies that people don't really want to watch, they're still really good at like when they're just enhancing like a physical practical effect. And I think that's probably the best version of movies, where we're just enhancing practical effect.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that like struck me in my heart and did damage was there's this YouTuber that I watch on occasion that he like reviews like horror and monster movies, essentially just because I need to like spurg out about that for a little bit, because I'm like, monsters. And one of the things that he said is like, oh, there's no props from this movie because all the props were like a piece of plastic you hold, and then they digitally went over it, and it looked terrible. Sci-fi original movie style effects over these like things, but the movie didn't have any props. Like if everything is digital, there would be no like, just for obvious reference, like Captain America's shield would never be a thing you could hold. That would you'd never see that. It would all be digital, made up, never real ghost shit. And frankly, my little goblin brain that's like, ooh, special cool thingies, I love seeing movie props in real life.
Oh yeah.
I love it. It's honestly one of the things that actually makes me engage with like the art outside of the art. Like, you guys love like documentaries and stuff, and I remember at least one time you guys going nuts about a director's commentary thing, and frankly, I couldn't give a fuck about those things. But if you show me like video of like, oh shit, that's them in the Shire.
Yeah.
And the Shire's different size because of camera tricks. And there's Sting. He's got it.
A great example of
He's
this.
holding the blade because it's not real. It's a fake sword. I get excited like a child, you see.
My favorite example of this is the amount of people that are just stormtroopers.
Yes. Yes.
The one of my deepest regrets, and it's like, it's not like a true like, oh, I'm gonna go to my deathbed and weep over this, but it's like, you know, I wish I had made it big so I could have bought one of the sets of Stormwind armor from the Warcraft movie.
Oh yeah.
That would have been my Stormtrooper armor.
That would have been.
Cool. I would totally LARP around my neighborhood in full Stormwind guard attire.
Yeah. With
my little plastic Gladius and my little lion shield.
Yeah.
And defend my neighborhood from the baddies of the Horde. Like that would have totally happened. Ironic because I'm a Horde mate now, but anyway, so...
I'm going to draw a picture of you stuffed into, like, a child set of armor, really.
Keyword stuffed.
Stuffed, yes.
Yeah.
It's like a child-sized set of armor, drinking the Appalachian Sippin
Do it. That's good fan art right there. That's good. That's awesome.
Oh, my goodness.
No, I'm trying to think of like other special effects that like blew my mind recently. I remember the fucking Justice League movie had pretty bad CGI. That was one of the things that like people really didn't like about it.
Yeah, and then the Snyder Cut got to have another go at it. And Frank, like I said, I flip-flopped. I think everyone should get a second chance like that.
Yeah, no, so like, you know what's funny? That's why I didn't understand that criticism. Because I only watched the Snyder Cut and I thought, this is a great movie.
Yeah.
This was a passable, fun movie. I enjoyed my time. Yeah. I didn't watch the original.
Right.
So that must have been abysmal then, because I've only heard bad things with the Justice League movie, but I only watched the Snyder Cut. And I quite enjoyed it.
So also, besides just the Snyder Cut, there's also the version of the movie that is in black and white.
Oh, okay.
Which is the Snyder Cut, obviously, but in black and white. It's called like Justice is Gray or something. And frankly, on that one, I just want to be like,
that's just pretentious, man.
Yeah. You got a do-over and you did a good job, but...
You can't do that joke twice.
You can't...
You can't do that.
Who's it for?
Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
You know what? Then I rescind my point. Much like my point about the League of Legends anime and the band Imagine Dragons, I am mad jelly about that, so I can't have an objective opinion about it. If I had the option to be like, and then I want to do this one just for me, super serious version, and someone paid me for it, you couldn't stop me. I'd be the worst.
Yeah, dude. I still love the Imagine Dragons bit about that.
They put themselves in...
I don't know if we touched upon this in the podcast or not, but yeah, the one of the greatest, most shameless cameos I have ever witnessed in my life comes from the Netflix animation Arcane, which is about League of Legends. The people who did the theme song, the opening music for that, was the band Imagine Dragons.
Famously players of League of Legends.
Yeah, and I don't know this firsthand knowledge from my buddy Hans, James, we're out there, love you, buddy. He explained to me that what the significance of this is that they play League of Legends as a band, not even really just play the game, they play it as a band. It's more like their band.
They hang out like this is Metalocalypse.
Yeah, it's like a band improvement, a team building exercise for them. It's playing League of Legends, which is I think that's fucking cool.
Imagine if you went to the office and your boss was like, "We play League of Legends for team building here."
You know what?
Shooting every week.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that would go south quick. Yeah, especially if I was playing. Dude, people would fucking hate me. I would auto-walk jungle, I would play Poppy, and proceed to do the jungle route completely wrong, because I'm feeling out a new one this time. I would give no ganks, I would be out-farmed, but guess what? I have pigtails and a giant hammer. I'm actually winning right now. And every time someone pinged me because I fucked up, I always ping back. There's a little emote where it's Lulu looking all happy and cute with her little fucking pics.
Right.
And it's just super joyous and jovial. So every time someone pings me, Papa, you idiot! I fucking
your clapback is going to be the Twitter meme of the girls who post a picture of a kitten with "This is who you're being mean to," right?
Yeah, that's what I do. That's my tactic in League of Legends. The way I survive the hellish wasteland that is League of Legends chat is that I kill them with kindness. I'll say things like, "You're trying your best, sweetie." I'll even talk to them I go full tilt with it, and it drives people fucking insane. It is so weird to watch. They get so angry that I'm not getting angry back.
Right.
It's crazy.
The entire cycle has been disrupted.
But yeah, so as far as team building exercises, I'd be dead by morning. That'd be
Going back to Imagine Dragons, they then had themselves as characters in this city designed and put into the show, where a diegetic concert of them playing the show's main theme in the streets, they got themselves made into League of Legends, into a music video in the anime of League of Legends.
So they're immortalized.
And I'm so wildly jealous of them that I kind of like Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, they won.
Yeah.
You fucking won, dude.
Yep.
I don't listen to your music. I don't care to. It's not bad. It's fine on the radio, but it's something I'm going to seek out.
Right.
But as far as artists, yeah, you fucking won. GG, well played.
Yep.
You all can die tomorrow and you'll be fine. Not saying that you should. I'm saying you could be able to rest well on your deathbed, knowing that your legacy has been maintained.
Rest easy now, Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, exactly. You did it. You won. You conquered the dragon. I no longer have to imagine him.
Can you imagine going to a local e-sport event and playing League of Legends, and your opponent team is Imagine Dragons?
That would be weird.
And they explain this isn't even a big deal for them. This is just team building. They don't need the prize money. They're Imagine Dragons. And they still beat your ass, and now you have to go home without any money.
Get fucked, bro.
And you hate Imagine Dragons. And guess what? On your ride home, you'll never guess what's playing on every radio station, because that's what happens.
Whatever fucking songs they have, I can't think of it at the top of my head.
Oh, I can think of 10 off the top of my... They have one that was overplayed on the radio for a short period, but always made me laugh, because it's how I imagine they tried to do a boy band song. And I think it's Bones. Now it's a song that gets used for some reason a lot with the boys for a meme, where just partway through it goes, "Ay, ay, ay," and then does a freeze frame. It's a whole fucking thing. I'm talking about TikTok memes to people who aren't on TikTok right now, so this isn't very helpful. But I can name so many Imagine Dragons songs, and I no longer have man, I hate this band in my head at all, because I know I'm just jealous.
That respect, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have respect for the band Imagine Dragons, and I want to be shot with arrows right now.
And with that, we're going to end tonight's podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the nature of this content, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow us at Famfare on Blue Sky, and you can support us on our Patreon. With that, have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.